y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Do I even need to say anything else at this point? I honestly don't think so, but for those of you who may need just a little bit of clarification, anyone who might be new to this particular channel and content, for the past couple of whatevers, we have been riding the anti-haul train because there has been an abundance of absurdity, a plethora of nonsense. We have reached Albert Camus levels of absurdity. We are asking ourselves if it is a better choice to just simply live our lives carelessly and regardless, because no matter what we do, it's just gonna be never-ending chaos and nonsense. And in the realm of the beauty whatevers right now, they are reveling in said nonsense. There is reckless abandon. There is no level of self-awareness. We're just putting out shizz to put it out regardless, given to any thought, any consideration. It's just raining pointless products at this point. And it has been especially bad because holiday. And as I said in probably the past two previous anti-hauls, I feel like these companies are, rather than, waiting and putting out quality thought out products, they are simply desperately trying to make up for lost time. They lost like half a year of shilling, so we've got to put all of those months we lost into this small amount of time before the new year. So we're gonna talk about this nonsense, and as I always like to say, if I talk about something that you absolutely love, you have purchased it, it is amazing, it is your bomb diggity shiznit, or it is something that you are planning on purchasing, that is fan-tucking-fastic. You keep doing you, boo-boo. Makeup is relative, we all have different yada 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 and whatever, so let's just go on into me talking crap, talking smack, whatever y'all would like to call it, and holding these brands up to a level of accountability that they would never hold themselves up to. I will also preface this with saying a lot of times my anti-haul videos may seem a wee bit outdated as of when they get actually posted. Your girl pre-films, I am in the interim, was the interim of coming from the Linden house to my parents, and now I'm going from my parents back to Tennessee. So please forgive me any sort of choppiness there may be in the timeline of my channel. All right. We're gonna start off with something I don't necessarily feel like, passionately disgusting, whatever. I just look at it and I'm just like, no, I'm good. It just looks like a mishmash of stuff smooshed together and given a kind of cute name and put out. The Violet Voss CSEA You Later. As you can probably tell from the picture, I'm not entirely offended. It just doesn't look like something that I want in my collection or that I would get a lot of use out. It just sort of kind of gets lost amidst all of these other releases. That's part of the problem I have during this time period, is that there were just so many things being put out. There really isn't any thought. And yeah, something comes out and you're just like, okay, all right, whatever. It's just another palette in a sea of never-ending palettes. There isn't any time given for things to actually be enjoyed or interesting. We're just pushing it all out all at once. And this, I feel, kind of suffers from that let's just get out as much as we can. Oh, we need to have some kind of holiday release, so let's just kind of slap some shades in here, give it some like blueies and some greens, and then call it see you later. All right, something that came out that I was like, if I wasn't a cruelty-free kind of person, I would have these. I'm anti-hauling them because I'm not going to be buying them, but they look absolutely beauteous. And I am talking about the Dior 2020 face palettes. Y'all know your girl has talked about these before in, I believe, a makeup I wish I could buy. Potentially a makeup I wanted but I didn't buy. In any way, I have talked about my burning lust for these sorts of palettes. And these ones look absolutely stunning. That one with like the little pretty pop of yellowy golden sunshine that's very obviously not suited for my pasty skin tone. That palette gets my blood going all kinds of whatever ways. I have heard nothing but wonderful things about the formula of these palettes. Teresa is dead. When she swatched them, I just about lost my shiz. So it makes me kind of sad that I can't buy them, but I'm anti-hauling them deep down inside. I would love to spend my money on a overpriced fancy highlighter palette I absolutely don't need. In my heart of hearts, that is my desire. But we're gonna be moving after the new year. I got all kinds of whatever, saving up for house and all kinds of stuff like that. So we're not gonna buy it, but it looks really freaking pretty. And if Teresa is dead ends up reviewing that shit, y'all know I'm gonna be watching it just for the joy of watching her swatch that. That is a level of pleasure that I would like to enjoy. All right. From a brand that had you talk to me 2-3 years ago, I never in my wildest, craziest, most perverted, bizarre dreams would have ever thought that I would be actually anti-hauling products from this company on my channel. KVD, Kendo Vegan Love Space Odyssey, has decided to release, basically what they're doing is they're like, okay, we're rebranding, but before we can officially rebrand, we really need to get rid of that packaging that we have left over that's got the original KVD logo on it. They did that with that kitten new pop something funky travesty ugly thing, and now they're doing it again, although slightly less offensively in the shade and light, 4 quad whatevers. They apparently have a crap ton of those in the back, and it's the Glam Rock version, which is essentially some warm tones with a pop of blue. This is definitely, if we were doing makeup bingo, it's a neutral with a pop of blue. This is right here. You look that up in the dictionary and you see this. Now, am I absolutely offended by this? Yes and no. Number one, is it better than that last thing they did? Yes. Yes, it is. But would it have been so much better if instead of desperately trying to use up their old componentry, if KVD, Vengan, Vigo, Duo, whatever it is, had been like, all right, let's give them a palette, not just something that we've got in the back that we're desperately trying to cling to some sort of whatever. Let's take this glam rock theme and let's give them a full palette. Let's take the format that everybody knew and loved. You got the 3 shades on top and then all the ones down below. Let's take that format. You're telling me you don't have that componentry left in the back? And let's take this theme and put it into one of these and give them a full, beautiful spectrum glam rock experience. That could have been glam rock is a theme I could have rolled with. We could have gone all kinds of crazy up in there. Give me big, bright, beautiful, punchy shimmers. Give me the dark, smoking out shade. There was just, with glam rock, there were so many different doors and avenues you could open up for this shiz. But instead of going balls to the walls and actually taking a huge amount of inspiration from said theme, we're gonna take the componentry and we're gonna put a pittance in it and be like, look, glam rock, we're still relevant. We know what to do. We know what the market wants. No, the market doesn't want this. You don't want this. I don't want this. It's just another example of seriously doing the bare minimum. I mean, the reason KVD, I feel, is floundering like nobody's business is because they're like, all right, Kat Von D isn't a part of the equation anymore. Let's do this rebranding. And then they never really rebranded beyond giving themselves a super complicated name. You know, they're still trying to go with the Kat Von D theme. And then they were like, all right, let's do Kitten New Pop and let's do Glam Rock. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't like it. It's not enough. It's just the smallest attempt to maintain a little amount of relevancy within this oversaturated market, and I don't know if they can keep up, because at this point I don't see them making it through 2021. They're not doing enough. Instead of releasing all these little just like, no, it's a shade and light Kitten New Pop palette, it's a shade and light Glam Rock palette, you know? Instead of doing those stupid little things, they need to focus on doing good things like them lip vinyls and those blushes that they did before KVD left. Focus on making good standout core products instead of focusing on putting out all these little frittering things that are just I hate it. You know, we were all hoping that KVD leaving would actually, you know, make the brand start going up again, but they've been flatlining, if not going down. Now I have to anti-haul something that deep down in my dark, emo-loving heart, I really want. If I had money to burn, if I didn't know that the quality of these products the best, you know, if I didn't have such an aversion to gimmicky, limited edition situations, I might buy this. I know a couple of y'all are very excited for this. I know a lot of people on Trend Mood were very excited for this, but Makeup Revolution decided that it was going to take the licensing of Nightmare Before Christmas and put it on makeup. Nightmare Before Christmas came out in 1993. Your girl was 3 years old, and ever since then, it has had a place in my spooky loving heart. But looking at this, I mean, the eyeshadow palettes especially, why did they have to make them 20,000 shades? And not just 20,000 shades, 20,000 shades of complete and utter randomness. They're just like, all right, let's take this theme. We got a Jack one, we got a Sally one, and let's just literally throw everything into here. I have the same issue with these palettes as I do with the food theme ones, where they're just like, we're gonna take this theme, we're gonna take this aesthetic, we're gonna make the outer packaging all kinds of whatever, and then we're just gonna vomit into the palette. And I love a good color vomit as well as the next person, but I like it to be a little bit more curated and less just, I mean, they're just so big, they're clunky, they're just all kinds of everything and everywhere, and here's a yellow, and here's a green, and here's a blue, and here's a brown, and here's a taupe. I just don't like the nonsensical non-thought that went into it. Makeup Revolution has pretty hit and miss quality. I feel like something that's going to be limited edition is going to be even less consideration put into the quality control. Not gonna lie, really wanted those two highlighters. That shiz looked amazing. They were $10 each, but I literally, y'all would have seen on Snapchat, I was like, do y'all ever see a release? Like, you just see it on Trend Mood, and you're like, half of you is excited, and the other half of you just knows you don't want to deal with trying to get that nonsense. It's like the ColourPop and Sailor Moon. You don't want to deal with that mental fight. You don't want to go on the computer and deal with all the site crash. You're just like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't care enough to deal with this. So I'm not gonna buy it. If the highlighters come to Ulta, I may succumb to some sort of, I don't know, Nightmare Before Christmas highlighter purchase thing. But for right now, I'm just gonna take my money and put it into other Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise. All right, let's talk about something else that I would really like to have. This is kind of a bougie whatever sort of thing. I mean, who doesn't want to have the money to just kind of whatever on bougie makeup? I know if I had unlimited money, I would be trying out so much bougie skincare. I'd be like Toddy and be like, what the frick, you know? I'd be like, this is $12 million. Let's see if it's worth it. But Wayne Goss, who is a YouTuber that I absolutely adore. I adore professional male makeup artists who make content on this platform. I don't know what it is. I look at them and I trust them and I'm like, yes, thank you, makeup god. And Wayne Goss is one of them. He's funny, he's hysterical. I continuously rewatch his, he's done a couple of them, but Trends That Need to Die. He did 2018 and 2017, I believe. He's had blushes, that's what he has now. He's had brushes. You know, they've always been pricey, bougie, whatever. And then he was like, I've done the brushes, I've done the application, let's do makeup. He released, I believe, a couple different, maybe 2 palettes at this point. They really didn't do anything for me. And then he was like, I shall grace you with the Veil Blush Duos. You know your girl loves blush she doesn't need. I love highlighter that I don't need. And I love face compact duos. And these look all sorts of glorious. These look like a luxurious experience that I would love to participate in. The blush colors look heavenly. The highlighter shades look ethereal, vaguely threatening, and otherworldly. The whole presentation on these makes me want to buy them. But as y'all know, we are still trying very hard. We're trekking through 2020 on that low buy, continuing it into 2021. And as beautiful as these are, I don't need blush and highlighter duos. I really don't. I don't see myself purchasing all of them and reviewing them. It's something that looks nice that if I were, rich and had the disposable income to have more turnover in my cosmetics, then yeah, sure, I'd purchase these. I'd seen a couple people, YouTubers that I love and burp squad, that I love and respect review these. They really like them. They look gorgeous. If you have them, let me know. But I was just looking at it and I was like, that's all kinds of pretty, but that's all kinds of pretty isn't gonna make me buy it because but it's all kinds of pretty. All right, we are just utterly, totally, and completely cutting the umbilical cord before it even exists on this particular thing. One thing that has become super popular within the community is new brands. And honestly, random people who have no business starting a makeup brand. This particular person maybe not as have no business, as they are very well versed within the industry. I despise them personally. But Laura Lee, who attempted to launch her Laura Lee Los Angeles makeup company with varying success. Palettes that look very different, palettes that are released in BoxyCharm that perform like absolute crap, and then she did some highlighters that people really liked. It was just sort of a brand struggling to find its identity, whereas Manny MUA went with his and has just created absolute aesthetic perfection. I suppose in an attempt to reclaim some sort of something within the market, she was like, all right, scrap the Laura Lee Los Angeles. It's now gonna be Nudie Patootie, which is the name of her second palette? Because the first one was Cat's Pajamas, I believe. But now we're gonna have a whole makeup whatever that's called Nudie Patootie, and I can honestly tell you right now that there is not a single cell in my body that wants to spend any single amount of money on a brand called Nudie Patootie. That's just me. It's not vibing with the aesthetic I'm living for right now. And I don't really care for Laura Lee at all. Manny MUA, I've kind of gotten over some of my whatevers, especially since his aesthetic, his products. Y'all have heard me say it once, I will say it 1,000,000 times. His brand is absolutely wonderfully unproblematic. The aesthetic is great, the formulas are amazing, and he doesn't get nearly as much press as he should. But as for Soraya's relationship with Nudie Patootie, there isn't going to be one. I don't like Laura Lee. I will put that out there. She annoys me. I feel like it's sort of almost a crying shame how many subscribers she has compared to other absolutely fantastic makeup artists on the platform who are disgustingly talented. But that's just me. Some of y'all may love her. I'm not buying her shizz. Okay, here is something that, yeah, this is an avenue that on one aspect, I do have knowledge. On the other aspect, I know absolutely nothing. But Sephora Collection, which is a company that likes to release random, stupid, needless things that then go and live in the sales section for 12 years, they decided to release a rose quartz Guasha. I am not a esthetician. I am not a person who is well versed within the fancy things we use for our face. I am a skincare junkie. I strongly advocate that if you want to live the beat life, you've got to live the skincare life. I, however, know absolutely nothing about the significance of taking a slab of rose quartz and using it to spread on your serums and your moisturizer and having it de-puff and smooth and tighten your skin. That is not an avenue I have a lot of knowledge in. I do know that this thing is $12. And for $12, I feel like if you want to be all bougie with some frickin' rose crystal all up in your bathroom, just go to a local occult shop, a head shop, a metaphysical, whatever you want to call it, slap down $12, come get you some nice, let's see here. Look, rose quartz. I think this cost me like $8 at my absolute favorite crystal shop. You know? Buy this. Spread some serum on it, stick it in the fridge, roll it on your face, and you're good to go. I just question if you're really into this, I question the ethically sourced, whatever of crystals for Sephora for $12. I mean, I think it's dumb. I think it's gimmicky. Like I said, maybe there's a whole level of science that I don't understand that will benefit me from dabbing my serum, Oh yes, this is most definitely turning the clock back. I don't know. I'm not cultured. But I just feel if you want this experience, just go to one of your shops, support a local business, buy from ethically sourced crystals, get you a palm stone. You can even get they make flat discs out of this shiz. And use that to do whatever your something is. And if they try to tell you, Sephora, that the shape and the whatevering and the engineering of this, whatever the frig this thing is so fancy and whatever, don't believe them. They are talking so far out of their but they don't know. They just know that people like to be bougie, whatever, and be fancy and trendy and use freaking rose quartz, whatever things to apply and shape and hone their face. It's a bunch of pseudoscience bullcrap. Just go to a shop, get you a crystal, nice, ethically sourced, and you can do all the fun serumy face massaging shiz you want to do. But don't buy a $12 Guasha whatever. And I know I'm showing my ignorance because there's going to be someone down. It's like, you don't understand the subtle intricacies of what this thing here does for your skincare and your face and your muscles and your everything. It's a piece of rose quartz, people, for $12. It can't be that amazing. If it was some kind of magical secret for our face, it would be a lot more than $12, and it wouldn't be sold by the Sephora in-house brand. All right, that is what I have for this anti-haul installment. I honestly have no idea how many of these I'm going to be doing before the new year ends because it just keeps coming. Every evening I scroll through Trend Mood and I'm just whoop, 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 click, screenshot, click. It just doesn't stop. So you may see a lot of me doing this because these Truly, truly, filming these videos are a sort of therapy. They bring me joy so that I can sit here and absolute shiz talk the whatever of this. It's a very therapeutic outlet, and I thank y'all for staying and listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!